It's about time I talk about this again. The Roblox community is full of drama and expose videos, but here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. Half the channels making these exposed videos deserve to get exposed themselves. Creators like Duckumentry, or now calling himself Ducky, have built their channels on drama, stealing videos, twisting facts, and spreading lies about me and others. I've already called him out before, but clearly that wasn't enough for him to stop. He's still spreading misinformation from false claims of copyright and the so-called September 22nd situation, ignoring that I actually consulted FBI agents about it. And when these people get called down for their lies, they don't just try to argue, they're paying other people to file fake copyright strikes to silence people. I can't stay quiet anymore. Today, I'm exposing the people who pretend to expose everyone else while secretly abusing their platform for money and views. I'm here to set the record straight once and for all. Before I start, please make sure to like, subscribe, and watch until the end. I'm tired and disgusted by these YouTubers who ruin the credibility of the entire community. I want to begin by talking about the videos Duckumentry makes, because quite literally every video he's posted in the past 6 months has either had at least a third of its content stolen from other channels, or was made with barely any research or effort at all. In my previous video about the situation, I showed 5 or 6 examples of his channel where 30% or sometimes even 50% of the video was stolen. There's a video he made about Bonky Doge where he ripped off exactly 36% of the footage straight from my video. And I'm not just talking about him using the same screenshots, I mean he literally took my video footage itself. I have huge issues with this type of content. First, it's lazy, sloppy content. Ducky clearly doesn't care about the situations he's covering. It's obvious he's just churning videos out to have something to upload, and his attempts at daily uploads prove it. In my opinion, trying to upload daily with the kind of serious content we do feels malicious, and it's part of why so many people look down on channels that call out bad actors. But my other problem with that specific Bonky Doge video is even larger. Duckumentry shoved the most important part of my video, the legal justification for why Bonky Doge is a problem, all the way to the end where fewer people would see it. That's actually a big reason why Bonky Doge managed to get away with what he did, because not only are Duckumentry's videos stolen, they're also helping people like Bonky Doge, whose own lawyer confirmed that he was in possession of illegal material, avoid accountability. And he hasn't done this once. In my previous video I gave a couple examples, but never went into too much depth about how far this issue goes. The videos I'm putting up on screen now show exactly how much of each of his videos are stolen. How Parler ruined this Roblox YouTuber's career, which was a 30-minute long video, had 54% of the video stolen. PGHL Films, Roblox's evil YouTuber that got away, which was roughly 12 minutes long, had 61.5% of the video stolen. How Roblox's most popular YouTuber got exposed, which was a 10-minute long video, had 56% of the video stolen. I even recently came across this one video titled Worst of Roblox May 2025, which was an hour and 25-minute long video, which had over 25 minutes of stolen footage, and some of the clips were repeated 3 to 4 times to lengthen the video, which I find genuinely insane. Something else I need to point out, Ducky isn't doing this alone. One of his close friends, Webby Roblox, is just as shady, if not worse. These two seem to follow the same formula. Find a topic that gets views, slightly reword what the other creator has already said, and dump in a mountain of reused clips to pad the runtime. At that point, the video barely even belongs to them. Take this one video by Webby Roblox as an example. 90% of the content wasn't even his. He only included about a minute of his own voice, and the rest of the video was either stolen footage or literally a blank black screen used to stretch the video to 8 minutes so it qualifies for mid-roll ads. For anyone who doesn't know, that means he gets paid more because the video hits YouTube's monetization threshold. This isn't commentary, and this isn't journalism. This is pure exploitation of the algorithm, and it's built off of other people's hard work. Before anyone tries to argue that Ducky's videos are automatically protected by a fair use on YouTube, let me make this clear. Fair use is ultimately determined in the court of law, not YouTube itself. Under Title 17 U.S. Code Section 512, YouTube operates under what's called the safe harbor provision of the DMCA. That means if someone files a copyright claim, YouTube is legally required to remove or disable access to the allegedly infringing material quickly, even if the situation might seem like fair use. So even though Ducky might insist that all of his videos are fair use, that's not how the law actually works. Whether something qualifies as fair use depends on several key factors that the courts look at when deciding if someone's content is protected or it's just copyright infringement pretending to be commentary. Let me walk you through the 4 factors of fair use and show you exactly how Ducky's video fail on nearly every single one. First factor, purpose and character of use. This factor considers whether the use is commercial or non-profit and whether it's transformative. Ducky does monetize his videos, so his use is commercial, even though he sometimes adds commentary. It's very minimal compared to the huge portions of original videos he uses. For example, in one video we're looking at about a 3-minute range here, he included 2 clips from my content that were each about a minute long. In between, he only spoke briefly, basically repeating the same points that my original video made without adding any new meaning. That's not transformation, it's just repurposing someone else's work. This strongly weighs against fair use. The second factor, the nature of the original work. While Ducky's video covers factual topics rather than purely creative works like art or music, the factor generally carries very little weight in court, so it doesn't help his case much either way. The third factor is the amount and substantiality used. This is a big one. Ducky has repeatedly taken substantial percentages of people's content. For example, several of his videos have over 30%, 50%, or even 60% of their runtime made up entirely of footage he took from other creators, including me. Using that much material heavily weighs against fair use. The fourth factor is the effect on the market. Ducky's copying directly harms people's videos. For instance, with my video in the Gwamgo situation, he pushed out crucial parts of my legal explanation to the end of his video where fewer people saw it. Not only does this help people like Gwamgo avoid accountability, it also damages the reach and views of my original video. People might watch Ducky's video instead of mine because he used so much of my footage, and simply putting credit to Gwamgo on his videos doesn't fix the damage he caused to my audience and reach. And just for additional context as to why I care so much about this, and before Ducky attempts to twist this into a, "Oh no, Gwamgo cares only about views and reach." Yes, because your video was so flawed that it pushed the most important part of the video to the very end. You can't even make a single video without using someone's clips. Overall, Ducky's videos weigh against the first, third, and fourth factors of fair use. The second factor barely matters in this situation. So legally speaking, it's very unlikely his videos would be considered fair use if this went to court. That's why it would be completely justified for me or anyone else he's stolen from to file a copyright takedown if he keeps using huge portions of other people's videos. Now ironically, now that we're at the matter of copyright, Ducky has been caught very recently trying to pay people to file illegal copyright strikes onto other channels. I spoke about this in my previous video, and instead of just rehashing everything I've said, I'll just play the clip from my previous video. This isn't even the worst thing Duckumentry's been caught doing. He was exposed for hiring someone to send out illegal copyright strikes trying to silence other creators, and when he got caught, he tried to pay that person off. He even went back and altered his past messages to cover up the tracks. Let me repeat that. He didn't just steal content, he tried to silence criticism and then erase the evidence. I don't want to hover on this specific part of the video for much longer, and I have spoken about this in a different video, so if you need more information, I do recommend watching that video. But to save you some time, on screen you can see all the videos that Ducky has stolen in the last few months. This guy is genuinely pathetic, and I strongly believe he does not care about the stuff he speaks about, and as I left off the clip from the previous video, it actually leads into what I want to talk about next. One of his recent videos is about the Roblox YouTuber Florist being at risk of termination, a video he ironically stole from my channel. About 27% of his video was other people's footage, but aside from that, the start of his video focused more on me than Florist's situation. At the beginning, he mentioned Flores possibly getting terminated, but then he switched topics to something from over a year and a half ago when I filed a copyright strike against Parlo. He left out a lot of important details which I want to clarify here. First, my copyright strike against Parlo is nothing like what's happening to Flores. Flores got false, illegal copyright strikes that were completely baseless. In Parlo's case, I filed a legally justified strike over a situation that was resolved very quickly. To simplify the past drama back then, Parlo was misinformed about a victim who supposedly hadn't given permission to talk about a certain situation. But when I spoke to that victim directly, they said they'd given full permission and didn't know what Parlo was talking about. Parlo made a video repeating the same story using about a minute of my footage, which legally justified my copyright strike. Looking back, there were definitely better ways to handle it and it's been resolved for years. Even Parlo agreed that it was petty and bad faith to bring it up again after all this time.
So the strike situation from back in 2024, it was a very stupid drama. Me and Gwamgo have, of course, spoken a lot in private about it. It's water under the bridge, and I just feel it inconsequentially irrelevant to bring up that situation after an entire year.
This wouldn't be the first time Ducky was acting in bad faith, as a few months ago, Ducky was going around and spreading false information about not only myself, but also Parlo. I briefly spoke about this in my other video about Ducky, but never went into too much depth. Ducky was going around messaging major YouTubers like Schlepp, Green Lego Cats, and a bunch of other creators, spreading misinformation about Parlo supposedly dating a 12-year-old. Now since then, these lies were debunked in numerous videos, either my own or Parlo. But regardless, he was spreading misinformation and was trying to stir up enough drama to make a fictitious defamatory video on Parlo. When it was exposed that Ducky was behind leaking everything, he even told his close friends to accept the blame for leaking everything, and even saying that he didn't want to lose Parlo's trust after everything that went down. This guy is extremely bad faith, and I want to debunk another thing before he starts spreading lies about me too. About 5 months ago, I was told that Ducky was attempting to expose a lot of creators close to Parlo and was actually attempting to manipulate Parlo into cutting off a bunch of creators to seemingly single him out. Regardless of his intentions, he was trying to rekindle a situation that occurred nearly 2 years ago. The situation I'm speaking of right now is what's often referred to as September 22nd. This is a situation that I've addressed so many times that I've began ignoring people trying to spread lies about it, but now I'm understanding that as my audience grows, people will be unaware of what really happened and will start believing lies about the situation. And since Duckumentry was already interested in spreading this misinformation, even though I have chat archives of him literally admitting that I did nothing wrong in that situation, I'll debunk it in this video and use this segment of the video as an archive point of sorts to permanently debunk this point once and for all. Roughly 2 years ago, when I was exposing the Roblox YouTuber Mini Bloxia for harboring a disgusting person in his admin team, I was making a live stream to expose the full truth about him. When I was streaming, one of the images was accidentally left uncensored in the stream, and when I was notified by Parlo that one of the images was left uncensored by mistake, I took down the stream. At the time during 2023 when I was 16, that was one of the biggest moments of my channel where I exposed a disgusting person named Side-Ice who has enough crimes that I can't even list them all in this video. However, at that point in time, he and another individual named Nift teamed up to spread misinformation about that stream and falsely claimed that it was CP. I cannot say this enough times. The image that was shown was legally declared as not CP. Nift was at the time a 23-year-old man who had a long list of victims of his misinformation. For example, one of his victims was a 10-year-old child where he, along with another minor, fabricated evidence of this 10-year-old possessing and doing acts to cheese pizza. When Nift was exposed for not only lying about a 10-year-old, but also having another minor fabricate such material, he was cancelled and even attempted to lie about self-resetting in order to manipulate people to forgive him, and somehow it worked. This was what happened to me, more or less. Nift, along with Side-Ice, manipulated Parlo into spreading misinformation about the incident, and after I privately consulted Parlo in May of 2024, he came to the realization that he was being manipulated and lied to. This is when I got access to the information that Nift, who was a grown man by the way, had numerous interactions with minors where he openly spoke about the people he had done the deed with, even rating what their bodies were like. So the people who were originally accusing me are disgusting individuals, and somehow people not only ignore that, but they also ignore the fact that I had lawyers look into this and they had confirmed no crime was committed. I had privately consulted FBI agents about this and they confirmed that this was just a harassment campaign to spread misinformation, and I even have recordings of the original accusers admitting that the stream contained no CP.
Are they gonna do something about like the Gwamgo tip you submitted or not?
Probably not. It's not CP. It's not CP. It's not CP.
This has been clarified a whole year ago, and people like Ducky and other individuals are still spreading these lies about me. At the end of the day, people like Ducky thrive off of misinformation, stolen content, and manufactured drama, not the truth. He pretends to be a part of the exposing side of the community, but he's doing more harm than good, using other people's research and footage to push false narratives and silence anyone who pushes back. I want to be clear. I'm not making this video for views or clout. I'm making it because I'm tired of watching bad actors like him manipulate this platform and drag down others for a profit. The lies, the copyright abuse, the manipulation, it all needs to stop. So I'll end it off with one statement. If you genuinely care about spreading the truth and ensuring that justice is taken, then you should know what you have to do. Do not engage with Ducky because very clearly he only seems interested in getting a quick buck off of your view and moving on right away. I appreciate everyone who watched until the end. If anyone has any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me by joining my Discord server and pinging me in the general chat. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.